Super Door Documentary Special Galle Fort.
The Galle Fort, Bay of Galle on the southwest coast of Sri Lanka, is steeped in history and recognized for its archaeological and architectural significance. Originally built by the Portuguese in 1588 and later fortified by the Dutch in the 17th century, this well-preserved gem is now maintained by the Archaeological Department of Sri Lanka. Designated as a UNESCO World Heritage Site, Galle Fort stands as a testament to the blending of European and South Asian architectural styles. It is not only a historical marvel but also a hub of cultural diversity, reflecting a mix of ethnicities and religions. Additionally, the fort has withstood the impact of the tsunami and has been restored with great care. Both the Sri Lankan government and Dutch property owners within the fort are committed to promoting its status as a modern wonder of the world. The name Galle attached to the fort has various possible origins. According to one account, it is derived from the Portuguese word gallo, which means rooster. Another version suggests that it may have come from the Sinhala word garla, which refers to a cattle herd or a place where cattle were herded. The historical significance of Galle dates back to 125 to 150 CE, when it served as a bustling port engaged in trade with various countries including Greece, Arab nations, and China. It is mentioned as a port of call of the Levant in the cosmography of Cosmos Indicopalists. Galle's history includes the arrival of the Portuguese in 1505, led by Lourenço de Almeida, which brought about significant changes on the island. The Portuguese built a fort and a Franciscan chapel and later used the fort as a prison camp for Sinhalese natives who opposed their rule. The Dutch entered the scene in 1640, capturing the fort from the Portuguese and leaving their mark on its architecture. The British took over Galle in 1796, making further modifications to the fort. Despite the changes made by various colonial powers, the Galle Fort remains a unique monument, showcasing a blend of European architecture and South Asian traditions, making it a significant fortified city in South and Southeast Asia. Galle Fort is situated in the city of Galle, which is located at the extreme southwest corner of the island of Sri Lanka, on the southwest coast, where the shoreline turns east towards Madura and Tangal. The fort, like many others in Sri Lanka, is constructed on a small rocky peninsula, with its boundaries extending into the sea. It currently covers an area of 52 hectares, 130 acres. Highway A2 provides road connections to Galle from Colombo, a distance of 113 kilometers, 70 miles, and the rest of the country along the west coast or from the east along the south coast. Additionally, since 2012, an expressway has linked Galle to Colombo. Rail links are also available to Colombo and Madura. For sea travel, the Galle port at the Galle harbor serves as the entry point. The city of Galle, with a population of 112,252 over an area of 16.5 square kilometers, has developed around the fort area. The fort's history is well documented through numerous signages and plaques, providing detailed information about each monument. Inside the fort, more than half of the inhabitants are Moor, with a mix of Sinhalese, Dutch, English, Portuguese, and German settlers. Visitors can learn more about the fort's history at the Visitor Center and the Dutch Period Museum inside the fort. The fort area is predominantly occupied by artists, writers, photographers, designers, and poets of foreign origin, and has evolved into a diverse mix of boutiques, hotels, and restaurants. The fort in Galle, originally constructed by the Portuguese in the 16th century, was initially an earthen structure with palisades protecting the northern inland side and 3 bastions. The Portuguese believed that the seaward side was invulnerable, so they did not build any fortifications on that side, except for the Zwart bastion. When the control of the fort shifted to the Dutch, they deemed the old fortifications unsafe and decided to encircle the entire peninsula with stronger defenses against other colonial powers. The Dutch built 13 more bastions using coral and granite stones over an area of 52 hectares, 130 acres. Most of the fortification walls were constructed in 1663, and the sea wall was completed in 1729. Galle Fort features 2 historic gates, both with interesting stories. The oldest gate, completed by the Dutch in 1669, was originally protected by a drawbridge and a ditch. It bears the emblem of the Dutch East India Company, Ville, and has a stone dated 1668. When the British took over in 1796, they replaced the VOC emblem with the coat of arms of King George III, depicting the English lion, the Scottish unicorn, and a round shield with symbols of the United Kingdom. The newer main gate opened in 1873, is located in the northern part of the fortifications and was built to accommodate Galles. The urban area within the fort features a rectangular grid pattern of streets lined with charming low houses in the Dutch colonial style, complete with gables and verandas. The road network is thoughtfully designed with peripheral roads running parallel to the fort's ramparts. Additionally, the area boasts a number of historic churches, mosques, as well as commercial and government buildings. In the evenings, locals can be seen taking leisurely strolls along the fort walls. Many buildings in this area are of Dutch vintage, and the street names reflect this heritage. The fort area also has a sewerage system that directs city sewerage into the sea during the tidal cycle. Interestingly, the Dutch utilized the sewer system to export musk rats and extract musk oil from them. Many of the street names in this area have historical significance dating back to the colonial period. For example, Peddler Street, also known as Moorskremerstraat, was named after the Muslim Moors who were retailers, as well as Chettiz. Lighthouse Street, or Zeeburgstraat or Middelpunstraat, derived its name from the lighthouse that was unfortunately destroyed in a fire in 1936. Hospital Street is known for the Dutch hospital, a house of the surgeon, and the medical garden. Lane Baan Street, or Lionbaanstraat, was formerly known as the Old Ropewalk Street, where core rope was made. Church Street is named after a church that was demolished in the 17th century and is also the location of the Dutch Reformed Church and All Saints Church. Parawa Street received its name from the Parawa migrants from South India, who were predominantly fishermen and traders. Lastly, Chando Street was named after the toddy tappers and Dutch burghers who owned coconut gardens and small arrack distilleries. The Groot Kerk, also known as the Dutch Reformed Church, has a rich history dating back to 1640. It underwent significant remodeling between 1752 and 1755 and is paved with gravestones from the Old Dutch Cemetery. The church houses an old organ from 1760 and a pulpit made of calamander wood from Malaysia. Additionally, its historic belfry, which was dated 1707 and cast in 1709, used to ring every hour. The New Orient Hotel, initially constructed in 1694 for the Dutch governor and his staff, was later transformed into a hotel in 1865. Known as the New Orient Hotel, it catered to European passengers traveling between Europe and Galle Fort in the 19th century. In 2005, it was modernized and rebranded as the Amangala, a franchise of the Aman Resorts. An interesting landmark is the breadfruit tree, Artocarpus incisisus, introduced by the Dutch in Galle. The oldest breadfruit tree in Sri Lanka can be found at Akersloot Bastion in Galle Fort. It is believed that the Dutch introduced breadfruit, which was considered to be of a heady nature, hoping it would either kill or make the locals sick. However, the Sri Lankans found a way to neutralize its effects by mixing breadfruit with coconut, creating a popular and nourishing delicacy. The breadfruit tree is now widely grown across Sri Lanka. Several other noteworthy landmarks in Galle include the Old Dutch Government House, the National Maritime Archaeology Museum housed in the Great Warehouse near the Old Gate, the Old Dutch Hospital, the Miranjuma Mosque, a Buddhist temple built at the site of the Portuguese Roman Catholic Church, the All Saints Anglican Church, the clock tower built in 1882, the Clan House, and the 1939 Galle Lighthouse. The Galle Lighthouse and the historic Galle Fort walls are iconic landmarks in the city of Galle, Sri Lanka.
Baby dance it like that. Oh my baby dance it like that.